Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.
Rock and Review is on location in Nashville, Tennessee at Winners with, I think, one of the greatest country music winners, Grand Ole Opry member. He's won so many awards, country music icon Charlie Daniels.
I didn't know I'd done all that.
And more. And in fact, you got a brand new album out.
Good to see you, my
It's
friend.
good to see you, Charlie. It's like the new album is really a very different sound for you, and you put together a whole new band also.
Well, it's not actually. I still got the same band,
Right.
but I used different musicians for this one. This is a different band. We put the band for the record,
Right.
Because I don't want people to start thinking he's breaking up his
no,
band.
no.
But
This is like a
this
special
is
project.
the Beau Weevils,
In
and
the
it
key
came
of E.
about songs in the key of E, and it came about because James Stroud and myself have wanted to do a project together for 15 years. And
Right.
we never had a vehicle to do it, and I finally started writing some songs that were kind of swampy, and that's the kind of James from Louisiana.
You know, I love the sound of it, Charlie, because listening to the album, which I'll tell you what, I tell viewers, make sure and buy a copy of it or download it. But it's really kind of rocking, almost like your stuff you did in the 70s.
Yeah, it's pretty funky.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, thank you.
You know, and you really showcase, the songs. I know that you were involved in co-writing all the songs.
Yeah.
And what a great album to put out. And you've been so busy with the Volunteer Jam this year, your book that came out within the last year. You've got another new book coming out in November, right?
Yeah, it'll be out the 6th of November, and it's called Let's All Make the Day Count. And it's kind of an inspirational sort of book. I put a Bible verse in and a little thing that I've come up with. I feel like the good Lord sends to me, just little sayings and kind of life sort of, I write about my life events and
Right.
things I've done, things that I'd like to do, things that, mistakes I've made, that hopefully somebody else won't make them.
Well, you know what, and also following you on social media, Charlie, which I always do, it's always inspirational when you do that on social too, to where you put like little scriptures and things like that.
Yeah, every day.
And the book will also include a CD, right?
Well, it's not. They're two separate pieces, but they're companion pieces.
Really?
Yeah. The record. We did that for the last book. We did it with Never Look at the Empty Seats. We had a companion CD with it, so we made a companion. But there's actually a song in there called I've got Never Look at the Empty Seats with mine, called Let's All Make the Day Count.
Yeah.
Brand new song, new tune.
How incredible! And I think it's so great that you're sharing, your path with others and through scripture and everything to sort of help, give a positive twist, don't you think?
I think so.
Now I got to ask you, with the Beau Weevils songs in the key of E, are all the songs really in the key of E?
All the songs in the key of E. This whole thing started with a song called Mudcat. It's about a blues singer.
Yeah.
And it was in E. And I started writing another one, and I found myself playing in E, and it ended up, everything lent itself to being played. That's that good open sound.
E is one of the best blues
E
keys
is, yeah.
ever.
E
and
is-
it's great to play slide in and
yeah.
everything.
Well, that's what we used. Billy Crain playing slide, Charlie Hayward playing bass, my bass player, and then James Stroud playing drums and me on guitar.
Now, you guys going to do a little bit of touring, you think, with it also?
Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah.
This could possibly be our first and last public appearance. I don't know. It may not be. I mean, we're starting to get some invitations to do some TV and stuff. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love the sound of it. Having listened to the whole album online and everything, and you guys in your bib overalls, I feel overdressed.
How about that,
I
man?
should have worn mine.
Well, it's
so we could all
okay. I
match.
told my wife when I left tonight, I said, boy, it's the first time I've gone to work dressed in hog washers in a long time.
Because usually you're all dressed up. You got the nice belt buckle, the boots, and everything. You look pretty comfortable, though, Charlie.
Well, this fits a record.
It really does.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love the songs, I love the sound.
Thank you.
And everything you do is always so creative. And it's amazing the path that you've had from back with your Bob Dylan days to now the Beau Weevils.
Beau Weevils. Go Beau Weevils.
Be sure and pick up a copy. The album is out now, and the book will coming out as well. You want to pick up a copy of that too.
6th of November.
Yep, Charlie Daniels.
I even know the date. I can't believe it.
You are incredible. We're so glad to be catching up with James Stroud. You probably know him as an incredible percussionist and drummer. He's worked with, Bob Seger, Paul Simon, Tim McGraw, Clint Black. The list goes on and on.
Well, I got lucky.
And now you and Charlie Daniels and the gang are working together with Beau Weevils, Songs in the Key of E. How did this happen?
Well, you know what, Eric? Charlie and I had been working together years ago, made 2 or 3 records that worked. They were very successful.
Oh, I remember
So
James.
we became close friends, and every year that we'd call each other 2 or 3 times, but he would always say, man, we got to do something together. Fast forward, he calls me up and he said, I've written a song called Mudcat,
Yeah.
and I want you to come out and listen to it, and I want you to play drums on it.
Wow.
So I knew he was crazy after that. because I hadn't played in a long time.
But you're such a chameleon, James.
Well,
I mean, with your credits, you're able to move through all these different worlds.
Well,
and so it had to be just at home playing with Charlie, right?
It was, actually, because the way he plays, the way we grew up, with the way we learned our music, and that was one of the things he discussed, Eric. He wanted to make sure that we brought back from where we learned and how we learned it, bring that back to the record that we were doing.
And it sounds so natural. All the songs has that swampy kind of rock, kind of funky sound.
Yeah.
It sounds like friends jamming. And even on the cover, you guys, in your bib overalls, it just looks like buddies hanging out.
I know. The way he did this thing is that he would show us a structure on a song.
Right.
And he'd play it, and we would learn it and everything. But when it was in red, when it was recording, he just let you go.
Wow.
And so we just jammed. And there's mistakes.
And the beats, I got to say, James, you are so in the pocket on these songs. It's like, it's got that groove.
Thank you. Well, I grew up in Louisiana, learned how to play from the Cajuns,
Right.
and from New Orleans and Louisiana. And it's called the swamp stomp that I was playing.
But I love it. It fit the music perfectly.
It did. It was really good.
Well, I'll tell you what, be sure and pick up a copy of the album and check out James Stroud playing with Charlie Daniels and the great band with the Beau Weevils.
Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.